So what is up YouTube? In today's video we're going to be talking about NIO's stock price movement and also some NIO news which can affect the stock in the short term. So NIO is down around 8% over the past 5 days, and at some point it was down over 14%. Now there are a few reasons for this sell-off. One reason is there's a rotation happening in the market with fears of interest rates rising, where people are moving money from high growth tech stocks to these value stocks like banks, cruises, and airlines. And also I think people understood that valuations are high for high growth tech stocks like Tesla and NIO and decided to sell them, and that is why a lot of the EV sector did sell off. And another reason NIO stock has sold off is because the delisting fears of Chinese stocks has started again, and NIO is obviously a Chinese stock, so it did affect the stock negatively. So now let's talk about some news regarding the company. So the first news is that NIO has completed over 2 million battery swaps so far, and this is good news because it shows that people are getting used to battery swap stations and that it could be a good alternative to charging stations right now. But keep in mind, NIO doesn't just have battery swap stations, but they have charging stations as well. So the second news that we're going to talk about is news that I want to focus on because it could affect NIO negatively over the next few months. So we all know that there is a global chip shortage, and these chips are extremely important for cars, and because there's a shortage, car companies have came out and said their production will slow down because of this chip shortage. And NIO actually addressed this problem in its last earnings call. So in this earnings call, NIO said it has the potential to easily produce 10,000 vehicles per month, but because of this chip shortage they might only do 7,000 to 7,500 per month. And they also said their expectation for Q1 2021 is that they deliver 20,000 to 20,500 vehicles in that period, which is January, February, March. And from what they did in January and February, we predicted that they would do around 7,200 to 7,700 deliveries based on the predictions they gave. However, NIO came out today announcing that there will be a temporary suspension of production for 5 working days. So basically they won't be producing any cars until April. And the reason they announced a temporary shutdown is because of the semiconductor shortage. And because of this, they lowered their guidance of vehicles delivered in the Q1 of 2021. So first it was expected that they'll deliver 20,000 to 20,500 vehicles, but because of this semiconductor chip shortage, they're only going to do 19,500. So based on the new estimates they gave, we can assume NIO will only deliver 6,200 vehicles in March. And so basically this is worse than December and January of last year, and February was also a bad month, but that's because of Chinese New Year. And again, this month they won't hit 7,000 vehicles, so 2 months in a row they're not able to deliver 7,000 vehicles. Even though it does seem like bad news, NIO does have an explanation of why they couldn't hit 7,000 vehicles for 2 consecutive months. So in February it was Chinese New Year, so they couldn't produce vehicles for 1 whole week, and then in March it seems like the semiconductor shortage was worse than expected. And I do think this problem will last a few more months and will affect NIO's sales over the coming months, and it does seem like it will affect other automobile makers like Tesla. And so if the semiconductor shortage does affect the entire automobile industry, I won't be too worried about NIO because I know there's not much they can do. All they could do is wait for this problem to be resolved. However, if NIO is an outlier, then I would be very worried because that means they're doing something wrong or the demand isn't there for their vehicles. However, based on what I'm seeing, it does seem like there's still a lot of demand for NIO vehicles. It's just that NIO can't meet the demand because their production is kind of low. So I'm still bullish on NIO over the long term. However, in the short term, the stock could fall to 30 or even lower because of this news. And the reason I say this is because in 2021 they may not be able to meet expectations, and now it does seem like they'll miss on revenue for Q1 of 2021 because they are expecting to deliver 500 to 1,000 vehicles less. And it does look like they may miss on both revenue and earnings, and if that does happen, the stock will fall hard, so just be prepared for that. So currently I'm not buying any NIO stock because I do think there are better deals out there, and NIO is still not undervalued. It is still trading at a huge premium, but it does make sense because they're growing at an extremely fast rate and their technology is great. NIO is still trading at a huge premium, and you can still make the argument that they're overvalued, especially if you just look at the numbers they're predicted to do in 2021, and they may hit the low revenue estimates because of this chip shortage. However, if you start looking at their 2022 high revenue estimates and then their 2023 low revenue estimates, then they're basically trading at a price of sales of 5 based on revenue they might do next year, which is not cheap, but it's definitely a good valuation for NIO. And overall, don't be surprised if we see more red in NIO stock, and actually be prepared for it, and maybe consider diversifying into some other value stocks, because in this type of economy it does seem like they'll do very well as well. And with that being said, if you guys did enjoy the video, please do leave a like and subscribe. Also comment down below what videos you'd like to see, and thank you for watching.